Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Well, this is a new piece from Ripple's blog series called Ripple Insights. And part of what's covered in here is there's this new indication, it was expected, and we're seeing this from somebody involved in the space here, that payment flows, international payment flows, thanks to Ripple's technology, are actually increasing. It's not a surprise, but it's good to see that, right? And so this one's titled Santander Partners with Ripple to Bring Certainty and Speed to International Payments. So we shall be running through this. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, I'd certainly appreciate it. It's good for the YouTube algorithm. It'll get the good word of Moon Lambo videos pushed out to others that perhaps might be interested in as well. And also, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, because if you don't, tonight, when you go to sleep, all in the dark, perhaps you're even alone, out from the shadows, a monster will grab you, drag you under your bed, and eat you. You don't want that. Ain't nobody got time for that. You don't want that. So go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. All right, let's jump in now. As well as being one of the biggest banks in the world, Banco Santander also has a reputation as one of the finance industry's most innovative organizations. Since the launch of its innovation fund, InnoVentures, in 2014, Santander has invested heavily in a range of digital technologies. But every innovation must directly benefit the bank's millions of customers. Like OnePay FX, the transformative cross-border payments app created in partnership with Ripple. We've talked about this before here on the channel. We want to be at the forefront of the merging of finance and technology, explained OnePay FX Chief Technology Officer Ed Metzger. But our innovation is always customer-led. Customers told us that the international payments process could be better, so we partnered with Ripple to explore how blockchain could make transactions faster, cheaper, and more transparent. International payments are just one of a large range of services that Santander offers to its 140 million retail and commercial customers around the world. But the frequency of feedback about the lack of clarity and transparency in the traditional process suggested that an opportunity existed for any bank that could overcome these challenges. Exactly, so these are people that were aware of an actual pain point, which is why, as I'm reading this, it's making me think back to a video I put out yesterday having to do with the MasterCard Europe president says, blockchain really isn't going to do anything in the world of payments. It really isn't. That's not where we're going here. Oh, completely. It's just head in the sand syndrome, man. Here's a quote. Customers told us that they never knew how much money was going to get to their recipient because it was never clear what the exchange rate would be or what fees would be charged. And that's coming directly from Metzger. Here's another quote. On top of that, they had no transparency about when the payment was going to get there. They just knew it would take 3 to 5 days. Yeah, and that's if it went through. Then he says, this type of feedback is standard across the industry. No one was solving the problem. Exactly. It's no bi-directional messaging. It's crazy. It's just like putting a stamp on an envelope and mailing a letter, and then hopefully it gets there. That's pretty much it. It's just the push method. No idea if it's ultimately received or how long, in this case, how long it might take. Because there's this chain and there's just so many moving parts in it. Imagine if there's like 4, 5, 6, 7, however many intermediaries required in exotic, like the most exotic corridors in particular, just to convert from one fiat currency to another. So you have to change from one and then another and then another and then another, and you don't know, there's no way that you could efficiently organize how long and just know to report back to a customer that's about to initiate this transaction. There's no way that you can report with a high level of certainty exactly what it's going to be. That's why I have these broad ranges. 3 to 5 days, I guess, scratching my head here, don't know for sure. Well, might it be the case that technology that it does exist today and is actually being used today, isn't it? Don't you think it's maybe perhaps likely that it's going to change the way money moves around the world in a fundamental way when you're talking about, in particular, converting from one fiat currency to another, especially given there is no other solution than XRP being used as a bridge currency? No other solution, period. Now, of course, you could always make the argument that another cryptocurrency could be positioned for this, fine, but it's currently not. And if it was and that started to get traction, I'd be interested. Super duper. Maybe I'd talk about that on this channel. But there isn't. Today there isn't. My gosh. But even if you're going to position another coin, it's got to be decentralized with an open market value. Otherwise, you're not addressing the issue of trust. So Santander's search for an innovative solution never focused on a specific technology. Instead, the bank looked for any way to solve their customers' specific pain points, which is why Ripple proved to be an ideal partner. Here's another quote. Ripple helps us directly address the issues raised by our customers. And that's from Metzger. He continues, whether they are putting down a deposit on a holiday rental or paying a foreign supplier, they see exactly how much will arrive when they're making the payment and have certainty about when it will get there. Ripple also helps us address the speed issue of international transactions. Some payments on OnePay FX now happen instantly. I made a payment recently from an account I have in Spain to one in the UK and received text alerts about the transaction from both accounts within seconds of one another. See, and that's astonishing when you're coming from a world where it would take days to have something like that happen, and then you're staring at it on whether it's your phone or your computer screen, you see these alerts, and it's instantaneous, you know? It would have been just as magical as people using a telephone for the first time, right? Santander launched the OnePay FX app in the UK, Poland, Brazil, and Spain. The cheaper transaction fees, faster settlement speeds, along with the enhanced transparency around every payment generated very positive customer feedback. All right, and this app also received a Silver Star Award at the 2018 Distribution and Marketing Innovation Awards. But even more significant for Metzger is how OnePay FX has changed customer behavior. Now, this is my favorite part of this whole piece, so check this out. Here's a quote from Metzger. First, we're seeing individual customers make more international payments on the app. Before, they may have used a dedicated remittances service, but now they're coming back to us. In addition, customers now treat an international payment like a domestic transfer. They have so much confidence in the low-cost, same-day process, it's no longer a big deal to send money abroad. That is amazing. That's what we're talking about. And even if this is an anecdotal incident of one customer, this is the promise of what the technology has to offer, and it's not like it would just work in whatever corridors they're utilizing it here. And again, we're talking a lot about messaging here, fine, but I'm just saying ultimately the promise of what the technology can offer, we already know for sure functionally it works. There is no question. Customers have reported endlessly positive results. It's not a question. So it's more so like how long is it going to take to roll this out in some sort of major, notable way, and so that I don't know exactly what the timeline is going to look like, but I do believe that it will continue to increase at an exponential pace. Now, today, OnePay FX has expanded to 19 countries, including the United States, Chile, and Portugal. Santander Executive Chairman Anna Boten has said that half of the bank's annual international transfers can now be handled by the app. That percentage is set to increase as the service rolls out to more territories and customers. And here's a quote. We're looking to expand OnePay FX to new territories and customer segments so more people can benefit from faster, cheaper, and more transparent international payments. And again, that's a quote from Metzger. And then he continues, the partnership with Ripple is key because our success so far gives us the confidence to move ahead even faster. What was I just saying about exponentially increasing? Yeah. And then he states, it's not just the technology. Being part of RippleNet has helped us forge sustainable and scalable relationships with other financial institutions around the world by offering more customers a better way of sending money abroad. We're achieving our goal of helping people and companies prosper. That's cool, right? Don't you just love to hear these success stories? That's why and I know a lot of people struggle because you see all this excellent news, you know the technology works, and then you look at the price of XRP, but you just got, and this is my opinion, it's certainly not financial advice, I'm just sharing with you my perspective, because I don't have a financial background, but to me it just makes all the sense in the world to just acknowledge that there's not a sufficient parsing of the differences between cryptocurrencies today. That's why XRP and every other altcoin just follows the price action of Bitcoin, but I think there's reason to have confidence that will change in the future based on exactly this type of development. Exactly this. And the more you see of it, and the longer the cryptocurrency asset class is around, the more money's going to flow in, ultimately. Because it'll just become increasingly clear this asset class is not going away. And XRP also, additionally, it's taking hold. So there we are. That's it for this one, though. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!